Setting boundaries is not something that I was brought up to learn. So if you don't set any boundaries, if you don't know how to set any boundaries, especially if you weren't taught boundaries, it's very challenging for you in relationships and in adulthood. And this is something that I didn't learn until later on in life. Okay, I didn't have the blueprint of knowing how to, like, no one has the blueprint of life, no one has the blueprint of adulting. You know, the basics, right? Learn better financial habits, learn how to work with people, equal give and take, balance, win-win relationships and mindset. You know, the basics, right? But there are more intricate learning when it comes to how to do specific things. And maybe you may resonate with this video, and I hope that it brings you some type of like comfort in knowing that you are not alone, but also inspiration for you to know that you can get through whatever it is that you're going through. So for me, I didn't really learn how to set boundaries. I didn't really learn a healthy way of having you know uh, relationship, either with a romantic relationship or anything like that. But it was something that I had to learn over and over again. And I want you guys to learn from my mistakes and to learn from my experiences. I literally have was going through a lot of relationships, going in and out of relationships. It's almost like it was kind of like a spiritual attack, right? It's the same energy but a different body. Another man would come acting like they want to be all involved in a relationship with you, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they pull the rug up underneath your feet and they just disappear. Then you're like, okay, you're gonna heal. And then another one would come, you give them an opportunity, and it's the same thing, almost to the point where maybe you felt like something was wrong with you. Maybe you felt like um, you were being targeted. And for a lot of us, we are being targeted, right? But there are two things that we're battling here. One, we're battling the outside world, but most importantly, we're also battling the inside world. And if we're not equipped with certain ways of developing into balanced individuals and beings, it's a little bit more challenging for us, right? Like, even for me, growing up, I see the difference from my friends that had both their mothers and fathers in their life versus myself and others that only had their mother or only their father or neither, right? You see the difference. So I think this is something innately that I always remembered. I was like, I always want to make sure that the mother and the father in my, like, me and my partner is always going to be in the child's life, and especially in the home, because I understand the balance when it comes to feminine and masculine energy, within ourselves as individual beings and within the home for the child and to each other. And boundaries wasn't something that I was really privy to. And I believe that it's because, um, my mom, she wasn't really aware of that as well. She had a tough growing up as well. She had it tough. She didn't have either of her parents growing up. And, she had to learn a lot of the things for herself, and there's some things that she didn't learn, so she couldn't really pass down to me um, in a healthy way, and boundaries was one of them. Okay, so I want you to not feel like something is wrong with you, because that's something that I felt going in and out of relationships, people trying to make me feel as if I'm less than, or people may try to make you feel like that you're less than, you're not enough, or something is wrong with you, or you're just good enough for one thing and not for the whole picture or for something else. You have to be aware that a lot of these are projections from people who are insecure. It could be because they see the light within you, and they know that if you don't see the light within you, they're going to try to manipulate and take as much as they can, and then they're going to leave before you can go, because they know your value more than you know your own value. So there's a lot to learn when it comes to boundaries, knowing your value. And it's not that I didn't know my value. I think it was more so I didn't know how to display that. And that's where the boundaries come in, right? So for people like myself, like you guys, if you didn't learn anything about boundaries up until now, maybe you're starting to learn a lot more within the past 5 years or something, 2 years even, of how to actually set boundaries and how to do that. You're not alone, number one. And with boundaries, it's almost like if you're in a relationship, some examples would be like, if there's something that you don't like, you want to express it. Okay, 9:55, that may be significant for you if you're watching this, so look up that number right now. 9:55, pause this video and look up that number. 9:55, 9 is endings, and 5:5 is changes, major changes, new beginnings. Okay, 5 and 5 is 10, 1 is new beginnings. So it's putting an ending to certain ways of belief. 1 is also belief, Aries, mind, so that you can open up to expand to a new reality. I just saw a dragonfly, so look up the dragonfly as well. And 533, a lot of symbolisms right now. Look up 533. Ooh, a red dragonfly, so that speaks about root chakra, invigorating and utilizing your kundalini energy, right? Same thing for setting boundaries. You're utilizing the life force energy that is within you to protect yourself. So it could look something like, I'm sorry, I got a little bit off tangent there, but I feel like everything is always working together. There's symbolism all around us, so I always want to incorporate that, and I just want to be authentically myself, because I literally do that. I speak to someone, I see a number, I see a sign, I see a symbol, and I call it out. It's important to pick up on the magical happenings in your life. All right, you are a beautiful vibrational being, and you get to do that. So back to boundaries. It could look like you needing to say something and you don't express yourself, right? And there's many ways where boundaries can really help you. But before we get to that, just to give you some more examples, maybe you want to say you don't like something, but you don't say because you don't want to ruffle any feathers. You're maybe someone that doesn't like arguments. You may be someone that doesn't like discord. You don't like discomfort. Maybe you don't like arguments, or just making someone feel bad because you don't want to feel bad, right? However, unfortunately, that creates a certain type of belief in somebody else's mind that you don't respect yourself, you don't honor yourself, you don't value yourself, you don't see any worth in yourself to actually stand up and say something to you. But you weren't taught that you need to do that, or that you weren't celebrated in doing that. So maybe you were also someone, when you were younger, you would express yourself, but someone always had to headbutt whatever it is that you had to say. You say something, you express yourself, and it's like, oh no, don't do that. That's not how you should behave. Or maybe you felt like every time you try to put effort into something, cleaning, cooking, doing something, it was always met with it's not enough, it's not good enough, did you add too much salt, are you missing garlic? It's almost like every time you try to do something, you were met with the resistance of it's not good enough, if that makes sense. So you evolve and you become someone where it's like, that has been ingrained, that program, because that's what it is, has been ingrained consciously or unconsciously. It doesn't have to be something malicious. For others of you, it was something purposely done, and for some it wasn't, right? Because you're seeing a lot now that there's a lot of programs, there's a lot of human tests, there's a lot of things that are going on that people are agreeing into doing with you, like it's a straight up matrix out here, like literally, right? And these Mr. Smiths are trying to come after you, okay? So yeah, when that program, after being repeated over and over and over again, from childhood up until adolescent and young adulthood and adulthood, now it becomes ingrained in you, and it may even be hidden deep down subconsciously, where it's something that you just believe, and it's worse if you picked it up as a child. So now you're believing somehow, and it's not your belief, it's just clouding your belief, because your belief is, I know I deserve love, I know I deserve respect, I know I'm, you know what I mean, like I know that I get to create a happy life for myself, and that's what I deserve. You have this picture for yourself, but because of the consistent programming of someone else's doing or projection onto you, it clouds your own judgment, right? It's kind of like encapsulating it, and you have to break the shell of that to really get into your own belief and to operate that. You want to expand in that nuclear, right? You want to break the outside shell, break the cell membrane, and get into the nucleus, right? To really ignite that life force energy. And that's what that dragonfly was about, reminding you that invigorating life force energy within that cell is now expanding, so you can express yourself and you can be creative with it. So while you're thinking that, now you're radiating this energy outside of you because it starts from within. You're emitting that energy outside of you that you don't know your worth, so you keep repeating the same relationships. The relationships where no one is choosing you. They're choosing another woman. They're cheating on you. They could have a marriage with children and they don't really let you know that. You don't even know that you need to ask questions. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I wasn't taught to ask questions. And it's like, what questions? Right? And that's why it's important to have the father in the home, because the father as well as the mother, depending on their environment as well and how they've grown up or how they adapted and learned for themselves the universal laws, the practices. That's why it's a lot of us breaking generational curses, because we're the ones that had to go through a lot of the trauma as well, but we're also the ones that's making the decision to say it ends with me. Right? It ends with me. And either if you choose that or not, your soul chose that for you. That's why a lot of these situations, it may seem like you feel down, you feel like you're being targeted, and it could be warranted, not warranted, it could be true. Most likely it is true, because I always say this is an energy game. It's all about keeping your vibration at a low frequency so you don't ascend, you don't get to that Christ-like self within you. Okay? Jesus is in you. All right? God is, that's the life force energy within you, because it's the life force energy within others. I saw a clip. I didn't watch it, but I saw the title of a video on the YouTube of somebody saying, if Jesus is God, why is he praying to himself? And I didn't even click on the video, but I just said, something said in myself, something said to me, because obviously God is within you. That's the common sense to me, obviously. You know what I'm saying? God, Christ, energy is within you. So you get to remind yourself of that, so you can start doing the work when it comes to learning these boundaries. Either picking up seminars, books, audiobooks, learning on YouTube Academy. I learned a lot on YouTube Academy. I learned a lot from books from other mental health writers, psychiatrists, psychologists, just doing my own research. And of course, the most important blueprint and information that I have through my experiences, right? So not learning how to set boundaries from young, you weren't supported in the way that you felt. You weren't supported when you said no, you don't want to do something. It was met with oh, if you don't do that, sino haitien, if you're Haitian especially, or even all the Caribbeans, I don't know, you know, if you don't do something for your parents, they automatically feel like, oh, I'm getting petite. Why did I have children? Right? It's not a diss where it's like, oh, that's harsh. It's culture. It's just the culture. And that's something that we're shifting out of, because we're not here. We didn't come to be somebody else's slave, especially not our own family members. And not slave like that. Of course you want to give back to your parents. Of course you want to give back to your family. Of course you want to be there for your family. And I love that. You know, I'm excited when the whole family is having a gathering. I'm always excited to just be around them. Energetically, I feel really good. But at the same time, I know there's boundaries that need to be set, because as you're doing this work, you're going to see that you're going to gradually separate as well, because the mindset is not the same. That's all. It's nothing that you're better, they're better. You know, it's just the mindset has shifted. Okay? So again, when you're younger, or even in adulthood, or even after experiences leading to the same type of results that you don't want, it feels like you're not getting what you want, and it's because of not knowing how to set boundaries, and it could really destroy your relationships. And I know it has for me. But at the same time, it just feels like those were meant to happen anyway, so that I can finally evolve, learn the lesson, and grow, so that I could attract those that are for me. Right? So you also get to realize that these relationships, these experiences that you're going through, they're working for you. They're working for you, for your growth, for your development, so that you could always maintain the core of you. The core of you is life force energy, is God, generator, observer, and destroyer within you. And nothing can veer you off when you are grounded in Mother Earth and the Father, and have that unity. Some people like to call it the Trinity. I used to as well, until I realized it's a union. It's the unity. Okay? is that triquetra symbol, three symbols, okay? The three circles all in one that creates life. All right, that can never be broken. Once you anchor yourself to that, no one can come in and make you feel less than, right? So three things, three ways that you could set boundaries that I've learned in my life, because I wasn't setting boundaries when it came to relationships, to express myself, to even ask for what I wanted. It can really stagnate you. It could really just make you feel less than. And there's really, at a certain time, after a certain age, after a certain level, there's no one else to blame. And it's more like there's nobody to blame, not even yourself. I know they say blame yourself. Yes, you can, but I like to change the words and just say take accountability and now start to do the work so that you can create what it is that you do want for yourself, right? So you want to learn how to set boundaries, you study, you start to implement these. What did I learn from the past experience? And most of my past experiences, I don't know about y'all, literally taught me to, like, hey, listen, you might want to choose yourself next time, right? Instead of giving so much power to somebody else and what you think the direction of your life needs to be based on their perception. No, it's based on you. Everyone has their own blueprint. Everyone has their own path. What are you doing for your life? Where do you want to be in your life? Where do you want to go? Who do you see as sacred enough to be in your energy? I didn't know that. I didn't know that, right? I didn't have that really strong anchor in God, in the God within me, right? And I had to go through those experiences to awaken through that. That's the going up the ladder. Sorry for the noise, right? That's the raising of the chakras, to become aware, to come into your asar energy, right? To activate your third eye and your crown chakra to be a beautiful flowering lotus, so that you can really magnetize to you the beautiful experiences that are inherited to you. Like they're here for you, but you have to see them. Are you willing to fight through all of the lower chakra self, the lack, the not feeling good enough, the not feeling seen, not feeling heard? So even for me, creating this platform and being more consistent on it, this is giving me an opportunity to authentically be myself. Because the other thing is, you'll see, like I said, once the mind shift, you won't have that kind of like environment to support that. So you get to find that, you get to be that and attract it to you. So if you're attracted to this video, you're here for a reason. And I'm grateful that you're here, because obviously there's some type of like energetical residence where it's like, I need this video, and if you're still listening right now, this is something that is benefiting me, right? And I'm grateful for you. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're here, okay? Because it also gives me an opportunity to connect with you guys wherever you are in the world. And I'm grateful that I could share my experience, right? So not feeling seen, not feeling heard, not asking for something that you deserve, right? Asking for a raise, even communicating in your relationship, maybe telling this person you like to have sex this way, or you like this position, or you don't like this position, or I like to be caressed. This is my love language. And maybe you may need some time to not only learn from the lessons of your experiences in relationships, but also get to know yourself. A lot of the isolation videos that I speak about is a lot about honoring that isolation moment and to be by yourself. Like even me, although I've been in and out of a lot of situations, relationships that taught me, a lot about myself, it always put me in an isolation phase where I could have taken it as woe is me, I'm a victim, I'm sad, what's wrong with me? And at some point I did, but I didn't let that beat me down, because I still had the spirit within me. A lot of you are blessed with a spirit to continue, a spirit of light that will never let you bow down to lower forces or anything outside of yourself. There's always a fight in you. If you dig deep enough, it's there. It's always there. And it's always waiting for you to reconnect with it. And that's the God in you. It's the God in me. That's the God in you. Like real talk, right? And it's easier said than done, but it's so much better. When you're in isolation, you can really hear that voice. You can feel that energy. Some of you have different ways of connecting to that energy. You might hear something. You might smell a familiarity. You might see something. Maybe you might dream and have some type of like clairsentience or some type of like vision that comes to you. You might just know certain information. It just comes up to you when you actually ask and sit down within yourself. That's just knowing without any proof. We all have beautiful spiritual gifts when we can actually honor them, right? And setting boundaries will really allow you to do that. But it's also about knowing that you are worthy from within yourself. So if someone wants to kind of like manipulate you to kind of, want to have sex with you too fast, so I want you to do this, so I want you to participate in that, invest in this, do that. If you feel any of those clairs, right, sentient, cognizant, audience, whatever, or just have a certain type of feeling or knowing, whatever, that is in discord with you, it's not something that you should do, or you're not happy, don't do anything. Don't do anything, because the energy will always reveal itself. And another thing that not setting boundaries does is because you fear that you're going to lose something. FOMO, fear of missing out, or fear of not getting something that could really be good. And it's like, that's a lie, because whatever is for you is meant to be for you. If anyone wants to leave out of your life because you don't want to participate in the contract that they created for you, let them go with grace. Somebody feel like there's a better option out there for you, ladies. There's another woman, they chose somebody else over you. I always let them go. And no matter how much it hurt, no matter how many times I cried at home by myself, no matter how many times I was in my bed balled up on the floor, and my little dog Remy would come and just console me, because she's my spiritual puppy. May she rest in power. Okay, I always bow out gracefully, because deep down inside, that spirit, that light within me knows that I'm the prize. I don't care if you think somebody else with more money than me is the prize. Money is not the prize. I'm the energy that gives you the opportunity to make more money. I'm the energy that's going to bring more light and sunshine in your life, because I do this naturally within my life. And the thing is with that, the reason why you don't see it that way is because you're giving that beautiful energy outside to others, instead of giving it to yourself, nurturing yourself, telling yourself, I love you, I'm here with you, I cherish you, I honor you. Both the shadow and the light, the darkness and the light, both your shortcomings, your flaws, right? And everything that's great about you. You have to let yourself know, because there was some type of trauma there. Like I said, that belief is encapsulating what you really believe about yourself. And it's up to you to make that shift. It's up to you to make that shift. Boundaries can be it's very healthy for you, because it helps you to weed out the things, person, places, or things that does not serve your highest good. Although we are always going to raise our frequencies and learn new lessons, you still want to go out and experience. You still want to open up. So no matter how many times my heart was broken, I was still willing to love again. I was still willing to try a relationship again, because I know deep down that is not my energy to feel sad and lonely and depressed and isolated. That's not my energy. That's something that was projected onto me, because I know myself. I'm a butterfly. I am a phoenix rising. I am light. I am a vibrational frequency of the creator source itself. So why would I be creating these experiences? Obviously, there is a veil there. And setting boundaries allows you to clear out and release that veil. So like I said, if person, places, or things, they see that you're not in agreement, then deuces, Chris Brown, deuces, they can go. Because you will attract people that will be better suitors for you, better friends for you, people that want more in-depth relationship with you, people that challenge you. And this could be romantic partners, this could be friends, this could be business partners, this could be family. It doesn't matter. You also have to have the power to choose better for yourself. So even if and it's challenging, y'all, it's challenging to have to leave people that you've known for so long. And not like you're leaving, you're not say bye-bye to her, you're not saying bye-bye like completely. For some of you, you are, and it's warranted, and that's fine. But it's all about being okay with that too, right? But for some of you, it's just I just gotta love you from afar, because it's not personal. It's just that I'm not growing, I'm not where I want to be, and it's more about me healing myself so I could be a better person for me and for you, right? So I could not keep creating this codependent dynamic that I want to release myself from. So I could learn how to be more interdependent. So I could be around people that actually challenge me to be interdependent and doesn't take away their love at the same time. Because there's people that will challenge you, but they would kind of like do it in a way where, if you don't do this, then you won't get my love. If you don't do this, then I'm not going to be loyal to you. They don't say it that way, but their actions say it. Their actions say it, you know? So you get to release that, because you know you are worthy of better than that. You never have to prove your love or prove yourself or prove your light to anyone. You are light, and real recognize real. So you will attract others that are light as well, that has the same perceptions, that think win-win, that want to challenge you and love you, that want to pour into you because you know you're going to pour into them. So this is what setting boundaries does. It actually opens up the life and the door that you actually want to enter in, because it's going to magnetize to you the experiences, person, places, or things that you actually truly deserve. So you could dissolve that illusion of programming that other projections has been placed upon you from, right? Great ways to set boundaries is to start saying no when you don't want to do something. And it's okay. Maybe you get, like me, I didn't know how to say it tactfully. I didn't know how to say it tactfully. I'm still learning. So right now it's more about, you could say it tactfully without having to hurt anybody's feelings, because you still have that I don't want to hurt anyone's feeling type of energy, right? So you could still say no, satisfy you, and you can also not hurt somebody's feelings. Be like, thank you for the invite, or thank you for this, or thank you for that, but this isn't going to work for me at this time, maybe next time, or invite me next time, or let me know in advance, whatever. Say it in a way where you're not disrespecting or hurting anyone, but be straight up to yourself. Hold your boundaries, hold your guard, stand your ground, stay on your square. If you heard that term, stay on your square, period. Okay? Also, one thing that I also had to learn as well is like, stop overgiving. Because sometimes when you it's kind of like one of the lessons that I had to learn. My mother raised me up. Sorry, it's the Haitian in me. Okay, you will hear it. Okay, and ukab tandil. I want you to hear it. Okay, Haitian all day, African all day. Okay, but she raised me up to be someone that, well, this is an example. Let's say if the kitchen sink is dirty, I just clean up the whole kitchen. It's not, let me wash my dishes, let me wash that, right? And that's fine. And I don't mind doing that, because we all share a home. We all should clean the bathroom for each other, and it's better to take turns, but we all should do certain things for each other. But should, that term gets very skewed, right? And it doesn't mean everyone is going to possibly follow that just because they should, right? They could, rather, because it's a choice, but we all would have to choose together. So for me, I had to learn, like, stop always doing the dishes for everybody, even if people are not doing it. So I would see, like, people would not do the dishes for like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and I'm like, I like to cook with a clean sink, and even after I finish cooking, I clean the sink. That's just me, right? But because I was brought up to like always clean up after everybody, I would just naturally do it, not knowing that I'm constantly giving my energy out, and it's not being met. Like, nobody is that, like, that's not being met in the same energy. No one is have the same kind of thought, right? No one is doing that. So I would come home, and second day, third day, it's still dirty, and I'm like, all right, let me just start cleaning it myself, right? Up to the point where I was like, I gotta stop doing this. And then I start to feel resentment, and I start to feel like, people are leaving this on purpose, but it's a matter of standards, right? And some people might say, oh, well, you don't have to, nobody's asking you to do it. But it's like, well, if nobody does it, it doesn't get done, or it's going to get done like 4 or 5 days later, and that's disgusting. Yeah, no one is, and that's the mind games that people try to play. Consider everybody else. You don't live alone. Consider everyone, right? Clean up after yourself. That's like a basic rule, common rule to me, right? So I had to learn to set boundaries in that way, where now, okay, I'm gonna clean what I use, and then I'm gonna keep it moving. And I feel like that's so selfish. I feel like that is so childish as well. But I also feel like I'm setting boundaries in that way because I've been overgiving, and perhaps I've been showing up in a way where I'm letting people know that they could treat me this way, and I really don't want to be treated this way. So if I'm saying, listen, do this, do this, do that, and no one's listening, it's like, oh, whatever, you're going to do it anyway. Or I'm too busy, I'll do it when I do it. All right, cool. You have no control over anyone else. You have control over yourself. So you get to have a peace of mind by setting boundaries, doing your own dishes, and then leaving the rest for whatever. I had an experience with someone where, you know, I would clean the dishes and it was like, oh, that's so nice. Like, because I was watching their dishes, I was washing their dishes too. And they were like, that's so nice, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, we all live in the house. It's nothing to be nice about. It's just, you know, everybody lives here. So if you see the sink is dirty, you wash it. I wash it. So I think because I said that, I swear, literally, ever since then, they've never washed their dishes. It was like, oh yeah, she's gonna do it because she's so nice. You see how they could use and manipulate you, right? And they're probably gonna say, oh, that's not what it is. But it's like nobody will ever admit to what they're doing, consciously or unconsciously. They don't know if it's unconsciously, obviously, but consciously, no one's gonna end up telling on themselves because you calling them up on their BS. So you get to, this is a good thing about setting boundaries. You're making somebody else better, but you're also making yourself better by speaking up for yourself instead of feeling attacked and having resentment and having all these emotions balled up inside of you, and it's not warranted. Okay, so it's small things, speaking up for yourself, saying no when you mean no. um there's so many different ways. Okay, asking questions, right? Asking for what you want and what you don't want. And whatever fear that is about expressing and speaking up for yourself, like I said, it came from maybe childhood. Some of you, it probably even came from your bloodline, your ancestral line, and that's something that you have to clear. So it's like, maybe they were like slavery for me, Haitians, Ghanaians, coming from Africa, slavery, right? They weren't like, you're tied up, you're chained up, you can't say something, don't back talk. So there's a lot of that you have to express, that wasn't expressed, that is in your bloodline. And now for you to be reincarnated, maybe as your ancestors, or even into a new being, to do something like that, you don't know where it's coming from. For some of you, it could be from childhood, where it's like, do as I say and not as I do type of situation, the dictatorship home, or you know, you're trying to express yourself and they're like, oh no, don't do that, or everything that you do is just never good enough, right? When you express yourself, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just a child, you're not celebrated, you're not supported, you're not celebrating when you're setting boundaries, you're not even taught how to set boundaries. So start to do this for yourself, so you can break those generational curses for you, for your family, and for the next generation to come. Even if you don't have children, you could start expressing and sharing it to those around you, maybe your nieces and nephews and little cousins, and even just like this, me doing this online, to others that could really have the ear to listen to what I'm saying. Okay, I don't want to make this too long. That's the end of the video. I truly appreciate you guys being here and listening to this video, being attentive to this video, and I really hope it helped you somehow. I want you to know that you are loved, and setting boundaries is a healthy way for you not to get caught up in toxic relationships, or just relationships that just brings you down and doesn't support who you are evolving to be. Okay, because we are always in a state of becoming and realizing who we are, but we have to get rid of all the gunk, all the hidden veils and smoke and programmings. You have to deprogram your mind to reprogram your mind with spirit, with high vibrational energy and awareness. Okay, and boundaries is a healthy thing that you can do with everybody, because this auric field right here, this Merkaba vehicle that you are in, is housing a beautiful spirit. And the first law is the first universal law is the law of mentalism, and this is your mental mind and body that gets to encompass this energy to protect it. So you are the boss, you're the driver, you're the leader of your life. Be the leader of your life. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like, a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.